completes me, and it's your love that feeds me. And Lord, through your love and grace, I'm born again.
What's the name of that song, huh?
I never know I could feel this way. Feels like I'm born again. I'm born again. You know I'm born again.
Uncle Shaq, can you hear me?
I'm born again. You know I love you. You know I love you. Lord, I love you. You know I love you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't you know I'm born again? Lord, I love you. I'm born. Oh Lord, I love you. So that was Amar Khalil, and thank y'all for joining us on Therapy Thursday. The scripture today is James 4:17. Anyone being who knows to do good, he ought to do, and doesn't do it is sin. And today, Psalms 119:7 said, the law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The statutes of the Lord is trustworthy, making wise the simple. And then July the 10th, I might as well put that in. I will praise you as long as I live, and in your name I will lift up my hand. That's in the Zion Family Devotional. And today we want to get started. And I just want to talk about something that's very simple, or we think is simple. Just trying to be yourself, trying to figure this thing called manhood out. And I don't know about anybody else, but this manhood journey is amazing. You know, you meet somebody, you date somebody, you hope it's the right person, and then you try to live your life accordingly. And in the midst of it, you lose yourself, you lose who you are, and then you focus on pleasing the individual, and then pleasing the kids, and then pleasing society, and pleasing everybody. And you have a tendency of getting lost, like they said, in the sauce. And that's what I want to talk about on today. Not, you know, getting lost in the sauce. You know, that was not your goal. Your goal was to meet somebody, have a great life, and now you find yourself lost in the sauce. So let's talk about it a little bit. Brandon, how you doing this morning? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear
Praise
me?
God. Praise God. I can hear you excellent. Yeah, I'm doing good,
So we're talking about, bro, kind of getting lost in the sauce. Sometimes substance, sometimes alcohol, sometimes stress, sometimes affairs, sometimes just life in general takes you on a journey, and you're trying to figure out how in the heck did I get here? How did I start off as a regular individual and now look where I'm at? We just talked about the journey, man. Um, how do you feel? I mean, you got kids. You was married, or you
Man,
are married.
yeah, I'm still married. There's so many things that are tugging at us, man. And when you think about that, take us back to the old school game we used to play in elementary, tug of war. And
Yeah,
all of those things that are tugging at us, they're really trying to pull us away from what we should be focused on, which is God. You
that's
know,
true.
and if we focus on God, then He'll guide and direct our steps according to His will and His word. But it requires that we take the time out to spend time with Him, to study the word, and to engage with Him, because it'll show us the truth versus whatever version of reality we may be subject to based on the things that we're indulging in versus, spending that time with God, man. And in my
So,
experience, God has blessed me tremendously, even when even when I don't deserve it, especially, and have been disobedient and have led myself down the wrong path, either following my own desires or following the crowd or following other people. He has continued to rescue me and call me out of dark places. And Unc, you know what I'm saying is an actual fact because you've had to come and vouch for me and write letters for me to courts and to people who wanted to lock me up for the rest of my life, man. And I'm a construction inspector for the city of San Francisco. It's like
congratulations, bro.
whenever one thing doesn't work out for me, it's like God just got something better waiting right there for me. So
Well,
I'm
Carlos
just
said it's real talk, and you got to stay grounded in the word
stay
best
grounded.
as
Yeah,
possible.
man,
You,
that's real. I
you
agree.
got to stay grounded, bro. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta make a decision. And I think we put too much on God. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I don't think I think God as a father, because all of us are fathers, right?
that's right.
I'm a father. You're a father. I believe Carlos is a father. I believe Will. I know Will is a father. And as a father, we give our kids passes that don't even make sense,
Right.
even
Right.
though we didn't get the same pass. But
right.
then if God is our father, and then we put all these restrictions on ourselves when God said, "Come unto me as a little child," our little kids be running rampant. I got grandkids, bro. The one of them we call Storm. The moment she walk in the house, it's a storm.
It's a
And then she
storm,
got
man.
a little brother, right? He only
Uh huh.
9 months, but he following her in a walker. You know what I'm saying? So I think because of God's grace and because of God's
All right. You
mercy,
have a good day, okay?
and because of God's mercy, and I think because of God's long suffering, I think we're so hard on ourselves. We don't give us the passes. And I'm not saying we need passes because all of us gonna fall, all of us gonna make mistakes, all of us gonna do stuff we ain't got no business doing. But I think we got this, oh my God, if I fall, God ain't gonna pick me up. But when our own kids fall and our own kids make mistakes, we use grace and mercy for them. And don't you think God has the same grace and mercy for us?
I think
But
it's
we're so hard on ourselves when we mess up. Then forget it. I messed up. I'm gonna go get a drink. Forget it. I messed up. I'm gonna go smoke. Forget it. I messed up. I'm gonna
that's
go
me,
have a
Unc.
fair. Forget it. We put all these restrictions on ourselves, and then we walk around stressed out as men and beat ourselves up, and then we realize only women, children, and dogs are alike, and then we just out here trying to figure
Right.
it out. I'm saying because I think God's grace to undeserving men and women is more gracious than we think it is. I think we listen to all these other people and then we basing our relationship with God on the relationships we had. Relationships we had with our parents, relationship we had with our community, the relationships we had with our coaches, our friends, all these relationships, we're basing our relationship with God on these relationships. And I think we beat ourselves up when God gives us brand new grace and brand new mercy every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't wake us up.
That's
He
deep.
wouldn't touch us with his finger of love. He wouldn't be long suffering. I'm 65 and I didn't did enough stuff that I should have been buried about 15, 20 times. You know?
Thank
But
God for his
every morning
mercy.
he gives me grace.
Yes, sir.
But I don't give me grace.
Mm.
My kids talking crazy. And you know you want to be like, bro, you might want to chill down because you might catch these hands, bro. I'm not playing with you.
Right.
Then you got a woman who talking crazy and you looking like, what? I didn't help you. We got a house, we got cars, we got a roof over our head, we got food in our cabinet, we got all of this stuff, and then you ain't happy. You ain't make me happy. That ain't my job. My job is not to make you happy. And then you looking at social media, all these fake
Yeah.
people. I counsel somebody who told me I want a real man. You got fake lashes, fake nails, fake butt, fake teeth,
Come
fake
on,
breasts, probably messing around with one of them things. And you want a real man? When is the last time you seen you? When have you been real with you?
that's good.
And I need a six-figure man, and I need this man to do this, this, and that. And what are you bringing to the table? Why are we putting ourselves in situations where we don't give ourselves grace, but we trying to give everybody else grace? We don't love ourselves like we're trying to love somebody else. Love them, buy them cars, buy them clothes, do all this stuff for everybody else, hoping to get some love, and we ain't getting it. We didn't get love from mama and them because mama and them never was loved. We didn't get love from daddy because daddy ain't never been loved. He had a baby way too soon, messed up. I don't know if he just hooked up with my mama and they just had a baby. You know what I'm saying? But he took on the responsibility to raise. Listen, my parents were 15 and 17. My daddy met my mama. Evidently, he got her pregnant. Then my grandfather moved them to California. So at 15 and 17, moving from Arkansas to Oakland. Come on, bro.
That's a lot.
And she fine.
Come on.
And now y'all getting married. And then she turned 16, then you turn 19, 18. And then that same year, y'all have a baby. You ain't mature enough to have a baby.
Right.
Now you're married. Now you got a baby. Now you got to figure it out with a second grade education. Thank God the military wasn't, he got in the military. Her sixth grade education.
Yeah.
Now you're a mother, you're a wife, and you're married. And you're trying to figure this thing out. Then the next year, because you in California, he probably insecure, so he get you pregnant again.
Right.
The second time you have a baby, your father get murdered by your cousin. Now you ain't got no support. Your mama dead, your grandmama ain't fooling with you, and now you out here with a dude you met 2 years ago, and you got 2 kids. He out here trying to figure it out. But because he's insecure, what he gonna do? Keep getting you pregnant because he don't want no dudes from Oakland hollering at you. Now, you 20 with 3 kids, a chick you met 3 years ago, and y'all married. Come on, bro. And we're wondering why they stressed out. We're wondering why they mad. We're wondering why they frustrated. You know, by the time my mom was 39, I was her 12th child. My daddy was 41. Come on, bro. 39, 12 kids. I'm just saying. So this dude meets you, and now y'all got 12 kids by the time you're 41 and he's 39. By the time you turn 40, you're on your 13th child. And we're looking for them to give us some support. We're looking for them to love you. And they just bonding I don't know how they bonding. We got all these kids. We got to take care of them. We just together. Is it love or just sex? I'm just trying to figure this thing out. And then we grow up in this dysfunction because it's totally dysfunction. And then you decide, I'm going to go meet somebody, and you think y'all finna have a good relationship. Are you out of your rabbit mind?
You do the same
You done
thing.
came from a destructive neighborhood. You done been around some negative people. You done live in a house with negative people. And then you decide, I'm going to get married. I'm going to have this wonderful life, white picket fence, wonderful. And then you marry somebody else from a dysfunctional family. And now all these dysfunctional people is living in the same house, thinking about we're going to have a great marriage.
And you the leader.
You the leader of the pack. I remember one time my wife told me, she's like, you're crazy. I'm like, what? You crazy. She the first of 14. I'm the 12th. I'm like, you're crazy. She's like, no, for real. You're crazy. I promise you, you're crazy. So what I do, I go to my parents' house and just chill for a whole day. Don't say nothing to nobody, just watch. You got crackheads coming in the house. You got alcoholics coming in the house. You got Negroes fighting in the house. You got her screaming and my mama screaming and hollering. You got my daddy. He ain't talking to nobody. He just sitting at the table, smoking a cigarette, reading the newspaper, watching TV, and she fixing his plate. And we looking at. I'm watching all of this dysfunction that I brought to my house, and I go back home and say, you know what? You right. You know what I'm saying? I go back to the house and be like, you're right. I came from all this craziness. I came off a block that was a neighborhood that they turned it into a weed spot or a crack spot. I came from dysfunctional churches. I came from all this dysfunction, and I thought, man, my wife was gonna just have this happy-go-lucky, wonderful marriage. And she the first of 14, and didn't find out till we got married that her daddy, who raised the other 13 and her, wasn't her daddy.
Mm.
Then, so I meet the daddy, because I'm like, ain't no way in the world I'm gonna get married, and we ain't gonna know who your daddy is.
Wow.
Meet the daddy, live in a motel downtown San Francisco. This is how he meet me. Literally, Brandon, no lie, hands down. What's up, man? I'm like, what's up, man? Hey, man, you want some weed? I don't smoke weed. Hey, man, you want a drink? Man, I don't drink. Hey, man, you want some Coke? Nigga, I don't do Coke. This is exactly what he said. What kind of nigga is you? I said, what kind of nigga is you?
Oh,
That's the beginning of my marriage.
wow.
Then we're fighting because I don't smoke. She's smoking them Moors, them black ones in Newports, buying pounds of weed. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I love going to the club though. And we're fighting because every time she buy weed, I'm pouring it in the garbage. I'm throwing away cigarettes. Then I get my life to the Lord. We end up fighting.
Mm.
I ain't going through this no more. I done already lived through this. She a preacher kid.
Right.
So we're supposed to have a great marriage? You feel me? We're supposed to have this great marriage because we decided I done met a thick chick at work and I'm sprung on her. She my boss. I done broke up with my other girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And now we get in a relationship and bro, we have miscarriages. We have my mama doing too much, calling her, just making up stuff. Just trauma, bro.
Yeah.
But by God's grace, bro, we've been together 46 years. By God's grace, I have not had an affair. I have had an affair with money and Jesus, because I was determined to have some money. I was determined to stay saved. But you go through all of this stuff, bro, and then you find out one day, wow, is this what life really about?
Mm.
And you wonder why your kids is off the hook. You wonder why your marriage ain't this perfect marriage. Because dysfunction tried to work as function. And dysfunction is not normal. And we need counseling. We need these therapy Thursdays. We need to know we're not the only one. Some of us suffer in silence, so we start drinking, so we start smoking, so we get on controlled substance, so we end up incarcerated. All kind of stuff happened because we just didn't open our mouth to talk to somebody and tell them what's going on in our life.
Yes, sir.
Because we thought, mama said whatever happened in this house better stay in this house. You know what the heck going on in that house? Abuse, sexual molestation, lying, all kind of stuff going on in that house, and you bet not tell. Don't tell. Man, you gotta be crazy, bro. That's all I'm saying. My house, my kids can talk about anything. My kids can come home and be like, Pops, I just shot somebody. I'll be like, you finna go to jail, right? I just want you to know. I love you, but you going to jail. When they catch you, because you had no business out there playing God. But I try to be open. I'm open. I'm honest. I tell my kids all my downfalls, all my uprisings. I am not keeping no secrets. Because keeping secrets is what gets you physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and sexually abused.
Mm,
Keeping secrets.
man,
And
that's a
then
tough one.
everybody out here, I thank God I got a wife. Because
Man,
these new women, and I'm not knocking y'all, but they got fake nails, fake eyelashes, fake teeth, fake butt, fake breasts, fake everything fake. And but they want a real man.
come on.
How am I gonna be a real man to a fake woman? I don't even know what you look like. You get up before me and then you go to sleep after me because you don't want me to see what you look like. Half these dudes ain't even seen what they woman look like. And when they be going crazy, I promise you, they was on one of them short buses in a classroom with 3 teachers and a rug. And y'all can figure that one out. And then she done bought her some stuff, and she out here, and you wonder why she crazy. You knew she was crazy when you hooked up with her. You know why you knew she was crazy? Because you said it. Man, she a little crazy, but you know, the crazy ones got the best. Come on, bro.
That's what they say.
So now you get and forgive me if y'all offended, you get a nut for a nut,
Man,
and you try to figure it out. Because now you the father, she the mama, and you trying to raise your kids right now because you realize I came from a bunch of craziness, but then your child is still dealing with that side of the family and that DNA side.
yeah, come on.
And you mad at your kid. And half the time you mad at your kids because it's a reflection of who you are. You mad because they remind you who you are. I got friends, now they pastors, they super deep and be mad at their kids because their kids out here smoking weed, drinking, acting a fool. Like, you don't remember you used to do that?
Right.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Why not? You was a homemonger. That's why your child is a homemonger. You was a weed head.
DNA.
Right, you was Patron and EJ or whatever they call now, or Sean Combe, whatever, Ciroc, and all of a sudden now you save and I don't talk to my kids because they this and that. Come on, bro. If we don't get no help and get our minds right, come on, bro. We got to get some help so that we can help the next generation. And if we can't help our immediate, we can help our grandkids. We can help our grandsons and granddaughters, our greats, and and talk to our kids and apologize to our kids. Every night I text all my kids, "Love you, good night." Because if it's not the last text at night, it's the first text they see in the morning. Why? I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. Stuff still, I'm still trying to figure this thing called life out. But I'm not going to spend the rest of my life selling my dream for $1. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life listening to all these crazy doctors. I'm going to start doing what people do. Walk around with no shoes so my feet can get connected back to the earth. I would have a fro right now, but it won't grow. So I just walk in the sun, get some vitamin D, and some of them remedies that grandmama and grandpa told me about. I start using them. I mean, when I was growing up, we got a teaspoon or a tablespoon of castor oil, some cod liver oil, and I don't even remember being sick because we got a spoonful of that every day. We didn't have all these crazy supplements that they putting stuff in, all this crazy food. We was eating fruits off the trees, but they didn't got rid of that because now they want to sell them to you. We used to walk down the street, we get some low quarts, we can get an apple off a tree, we can get a pear off a tree, we can get some plums off a tree, we can get some blackberries, red berries, we can go to somebody's house and cut on their water and drink out the water hose. Now you drinking out of water bottles, and now the bottles ain't no good. Now you buying fruit from the store, and the fruit don't got no seeds in it. Man, this thing. It's almost like artificial intelligence. That's how we're living, and we're trying to survive in all of this, man. And bro, we can't get mad at our kids, bro. We can't get mad. All we got to do is try to get us right, so we can help the next generation get right.
That's it.
So, and we got to stop beating ourselves up, because ain't nobody perfect. Because the Bible says all have sinned, all have came short of the glory of God. And if a man said he has not sinned, the Bible said he a lie and no truth in him. So if all of us sinned, all of us messed up, why are we beating ourselves up so much? If we repented and God forgave us of our sins, why are we allowing the enemy, and I'm not even talking about the enemy, I'm talking about the enemy. Why are we allowing the enemy to beat us up? Why are we allowing the stuff that we made mistakes? Because the Bible says God has taken our sins and threw them in the sea of forgetfulness, and he don't remember our sins no more. He don't remember them no more. And so we're the only ones bring our sins back up to ourselves. We do it. Nobody else do it. So the problem, the thing, I applaud you, Brandon. No matter how many times you fall, you get back up and get a better job every time.
Man, God is good. What can I say?
I, I'm saying you're not a quitter, because guess what? Quitters never win,
No, I'm not no quitter.
and winners never quit, bro.
Come on.
And any and time you fall, I see you hop back up. I'm at Cal Berkeley. I'm at Martyr. I'm here. You can fall hard,
Man,
but you get back up. You know what that says about you?
like
The Bible says a good man falls and get back up. God calls you good.
Man, praise God.
Cause a bad man don't get back up.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, but a good man fall and he just get back up.
Come on.
So every time you get up, you got to realize that God calls you good.
That's
You
right.
failed, okay, it's okay to fall. I failed. Man, I done failed so many times. I be watching my grandbaby. He just got tired of falling. He just started crawling. Like, bro, I'm gonna try to get up, and when I fall, I'm gonna crawl around for a minute, and I'm gonna try to get up again. The Bible talks about a good man who falls down and get back up. That's the difference between a good man and a bad man. A bad man just stay down, but a good man like, nope, I'm gonna get back up. So what? I failed. I don't care. I'm gonna get up again,
That's very encouraging.
bro. No matter how many times you fall, bro, get up. Get up, because God called you good. I call you good. We're good, bro.
Man, that's all it is to
It's a journey.
Blessed.
We're more than blessed,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
We're on this journey called life.
More than
And the
conquerors.
thing about life, it don't come with instructions. So we trying to figure this thing out. I started writing my memoirs, right? By writing my memoirs, I had to go all the way back to my grandparents, right? And then to my great grandparents. Bro, I literally found out my mom thought her last name was Wheatley. My people had my grandfather on 23 DNA as Whitley. And then I found out his last name was Whittle. And in 1910, his mom, this is my great grandmom and great grandfather, had kids in 1910. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So he was the second or third child of 22 kids, or whatever, 12, 13 kids. And then he leaves me, the 18-year-old, marry her, he 35, have 3 kids by her. She passed by the time my mom is 10. And then by the time my mom turns 17, she's pregnant, and she's repeating the same cycle.
Right.
And we're trying to figure out Why are we repeating the same cycle? Because nobody is sitting down talking to nobody. He struggled. And for whatever reason, he decided, he probably said Whittle and somebody said Whitley, Whitley, you know what I'm saying, in the country. And then they went from Whitley to Wheatley. Because, bro, when you don't have a foundation, when things don't work out the way you think they should work out. My sister went to go get her birth certificate. Her name is Barbara Jean. Her name was Barbara Jean. We went to go get her birth certificate. They had Bobby Jane. So whoever delivered her, my mama said Barbara Jean, and they said Bobby Jane. And that's what they put on her birth certificate. Based on the way the person communicated. So we're in this environment, man, trying to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. All of us trying to figure this thing out. So we got to quit beating ourselves up, and we got to start learning how to encourage ourselves and realize, thank God he woke us up this morning. Thank God for the activities and use of our limbs. Thank God for eyes to see, ears to hear, mouth to talk, a nose to breathe.
Yeah.
Thank God for the activities and use of our limbs. Thank God for the roof over our head, the clothes on our back, the shoes on our feet. Thank God for that last night wasn't our last night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
MacArthur, we're talking about quit beating ourselves up as men and women. Yeah, quit beating ourselves up, because the Bible says a good man fall and get back up again. I was telling them, I did my family research, and my daddy meets my mom. He's 17, she's 15. Get her pregnant. My grandfather moved him to California. You feel me? Bring a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old who's pregnant to California. They get married, have a baby. You ain't even knew that woman long enough to be married and having a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to figure out why we are so dysfunctional. Bro, it's life, man. We're trying to figure this thing out. We hook up with women. Oh, she hecka fine. We marry her, we get hooked up with her, and then we're finding out like, okay, she fine, but she a little cuckoo. Or he fine and he a little cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? We come from dysfunction and try to have these marriages and have a perfect life because we gave our life to God, and then we think everything's supposed to work out perfect. And the reality is, if we don't get no counseling, man, we trying to figure this thing out called life. And we beating ourselves up because we're trying to give everybody everything and want them to love us, and we don't even love ourselves. We don't even respect ourselves. We don't even respect the fact that we're raising a family, we're going to work, we put a roof over their head, they got clothes on their back, they got shoes on their feet, we got transportation. I'm making sure it's food in the house, food in the refrigerator, food in the cabinets. I'm making sure that this house functions, and we don't give ourselves no credit. None.
Yeah.
We don't. We pray, we fast, we praying for our family, we want the best for our family, but we never give ourselves credit. We never forgive ourselves for the mistakes we made. And the Bible says a good man falleth and get back up. Brandon was just talking about all the times he failed, but every time Brandon get up, he gonna get something better. So what, you made mistakes? Who cares? This life didn't come with instructions. Marriage didn't come with instructions. We had the Bible, the basic instructions before leaving earth, but nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Some of us are emotional wreck. And I'm talking about the men. We are emotional wreck. And then we got the other group of dudes. We ain't talking about nothing going on in our life. We trying to be hard. We won't cry. We won't do nothing. We just walking around in pain for no reason.
Well, I mean, I can say from my personal experience as a man, one of the things that life has shown me so far is that it'll pull you so many different ways. Society demand that the black man shows up one way, more or less. If he's a married man or if he's a father, you got to show up all these different ways. Not only to be present for those who need you, but
Right.
to also beat the stereotypes that they already expect of us anyway. So, that's the first thing. The second thing is, we want to show for a version of ourselves that we think we're supposed to be, right? Whatever concept of what we think, you know, success looks like. It could be wealthy, it could be, having this and having that. And when we fall short of that, we're beating ourselves up because we haven't reached it, or we're tearing ourselves down in pursuit of it. We're falling apart chasing it.
So,
You
so
know,
this is a
what
question. This is a question. Why are we trying to meet somebody else's expectations when God is the only expectation we should be meeting?
I mean, because that wisdom tells you that, and you don't really realize that God is the end goal, or His version, or His purpose for you, His plan for you is the end goal until you've lived enough life and you've run into that, that fork in the road where you say, hey, God is the only thing I need. God's opinion is the only one that matters. I mean, but everybody don't just wake up and default to that. We grow up in a society where we're institutionalized in school. You got to be a doctor to make money. You want to be a fireman to be a hero. You want to be a police officer to keep people safe. All these different things. And instead of, owning what our individual identity is, everybody is not one of those three things. You know, it's the analogy I have. Everybody can't be Kobe Bryant. You need somebody to be over here to be the point guard, somebody over here to be the center. Everybody has to play their role. And God created us individually to play our roles and to be successful in that. And the more we live in His purpose and live for His glory, we begin to fall in line with that. But in pursuit of that, before we get to the point where we understand that that's the blueprint for a better
Right,
life,
right, right.
we're constantly imploding and exploding like in different directions. Which way do I go? How do I act? How do I be? I want to be a gentleman, but I also want to show I come from the streets and I want to be real to the streets. And that's not necessarily my particular testimony, but it could be somebody else's.
Right.
Or, it's funny because I had an idea for a show. Um, I don't know who you could pitch it to, but a show where you take different young men, maybe ranging from 18 to 45, maybe even 50, and you take these different men and you take them through a series of challenges and interviews and uh, therapeutic sessions and these are men that have a troubled life or that come from a struggle, or come from this or come from that, and you're basically refining them every week. You know, I think a show like that wouldn't necessarily sell because we live in a culture or a society where drama sells and negativity sells, and they don't want to see positivity, more or less, even from a black man. They don't want to see us get strong. They don't want to see us mentally capable and mentally inept. So it's the concept of refining men through that have been through different struggles, and how do we achieve that individually, so that way somebody else that's watching this show can see themselves in that individual.
And
Because
I
this
think that's
this
kind of
this
cool, bro.
this this generation needs an example, and we're losing examples, and we become uh examples have been watered down by mis and disinformation.
Right.
AI to be at the forefront, at the helm of that. We don't know what's real, what ain't real, what's video, what's deep, what all that stuff, bro. We don't know what's real and what ain't, and there's this gap between the older generation and the younger generation where we're not even reaching out to them, and they're not reaching back for us.
So how do we bridge the gap? That's my question. When
I
do we
mean,
start communicating where we bridge the gap?
I think there's so many different ways. There's no silver bullet there, but I mean, it's gonna take everybody wanting to do it together, because it
But
can't be one person trying to build while the other person doesn't even acknowledge it.
Well, I think if you start at home, bridge the gap with your son, your daughter, and I bridge the gap with my sons and my daughters. You know what I'm saying? If we start bridging the gaps, I think it affects society. Like we're looking at this situation right now, this young man Nolan, who went on a boat with three or four of his white friends. They all came
Yeah.
back. His phone came back. They just found out some of the messages was deleted. And now all of a sudden the judge is like, the cops is like, oh, there seems like no foul play. One black dude, three whites or four, one mama's a judge, all their social media is deleted, all of them lawyered up, but there's no foul play. So we
I'm be
supposed
honest
to
with
have,
you, Shaq. I'm be honest with you. Like they love to get us emotionally wound up
right, I get it.
when there's something else going on and they need a few distractions. I'm not saying a life wasn't lost. I'm not saying that this isn't a tragedy, but I'm saying we done seen this play too many times. And
And
now
I
you
agree with you.
and the main guy that comes in and represents every black death, Mr. Crump, is come in. No disrespect to him at all, but it's just the same actors and the same
Right.
simulation every single time. And now we're focused on white versus black. We're trying to make this a civil issue because regardless of whether the boy was black or white, it's this is the second in line with a tragedy with the boy who stabbed that other white boy
Right.
at the track meet. You know what I mean? We
Right.
ain't even real fully processed that, and they're blitzing us with that color divide, that line. Black kid, white kid, black kid, white kid. They're blitzing us with it, what it does is either going to desensitize us to hearing it, or it's gonna inflame the color divide. So
I
I'm
agree.
not, and I can get deep. I can get you can call it uh conspiracy theories. You can call it whatever you want, but I can also see beyond the curtain sometimes.
No, and I agree with you 100%. It's to shake up America while they do something behind our back
Yeah,
every
bro.
single time.
Y'all done told us we ending this war 15, 11 times and we still bombing Iran. So it's like what do we even believe anymore?
Nothing.
And you blitz us enough with disbelief and lies to where now if we hear the truth, we just like, okay, boy cry wolf. So
Yeah.
what you're doing is you taming the people and you're trying to numb our conscience. You're
I'm
trying to water down our conscience to where whatever happens, we live as long as we live in our phones, as long as we brain rot or we going to work every day and we in this hamster wheel that we don't feel anything, we don't never elevate. We don't our minds don't ever go beyond that box.
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree. Because at some point, man, if we don't focus on self, this is all I'm saying. If we don't focus on self and figure out what we was created for as an individual, because you can't help the masses until you understand who you are. You got to understand your purpose. And if you don't understand your purpose, if God has blessed you with seeing beyond the veil, if God has blessed you to sing, to do all the stuff you're doing, if you don't use your gifts and talents to help us get to understand who we are, then we're lost, bro. Because if I'm just stuck in the phone, I'm just stuck in the TV, I'm just trying to see what Ben Crump gonna do next. Because that's it, Ben Crump, every single time. Like you said, here comes Ben Crump, here comes his team. So now we're focused on what Ben Crump gonna do. And it's a distraction. And I think in life, if we realize who God created us to be, God created me in his image, in his likeness, and he has a plan for my life. And he gives me gifts and talents. So I have to
Right.
understand who I am in Christ first. As a man, first I got to understand I'm a man. Well, first I got to understand me, who I am in Christ. Then I got to understand I'm a man. Then I got to understand I'm a black man in a society where there's issues. And then I got to work on making sure I'm good, making sure bridging the gap with my children to let them understand what's going on in life. And then we got to understand the women who we're with in our relationship with them and our kids and our community. So, like you said, we're pulled in so many different directions. How do we balance that? I'm just trying to figure out, how do we balance who we are? We got to figure out how to
Right.
balance this thing, bro. And it ain't about income, because money is out here. Money ain't going nowhere.
P-Shack.
Go ahead.
All right.
This will.
First, I want to say I agree 100% with everything that's being talked about. I'm driving this morning, but I believe you do have to be grounded in Christ first. That's first and foremost. And as far as a leadership standpoint goes, as men, we do have to be grounded in who we are as individuals first, because the reality of it is we lead our households. You can't lead if you're not healthy. That's just the reality of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that I want to touch on is, you guys touched on Crump. I think, and this is just a personal view, and some people may agree with this, some people may not. It is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I personally feel, as a black man in America, the black community got to stop letting other cultures pick who they spokespeople are.
100%.
That's what the number one problem is. I'm not sure who was talking previously, but
That was MacArthur.
MacArthur, you were saying that this is just a replay. It's constantly a replay. It's constantly a replay. We've seen it multiple times. And the reason we've seen it multiple times is because, as a community, we allow society to choose who the spokesperson is for the black community. We've seen it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like, we seen it with Johnny Cochran. It was the same thing, right? So, as a community, at some point, you have to stop supporting that stuff. And MacArthur said it, and look behind the curtain.
Right.
That's the reality of it. So, and I sometimes feel like, especially in that space, the legal space, it's more or less not being educated on what it actually is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because we're more or less looking for, hey, is there going to be justice? And you're not understanding that a lot of times there's settlements, because individuals are in situations that they may or may not be able to get out of, or they've placed themselves in, and hey, just make it go away, if that makes sense. But the reality of it is, society reacts to it in a different manner, even though we don't know what truly transpired in the whole situation. That's what I was going to say.
I 100% agree with you. I agree with you. MacArthur, did you have a comment on what he was saying?
Nah, I mean, he's spot on. I appreciate the nod. In reality, you know, if I can just, if I don't want to play, I don't want to say devil's advocate, but if I can play adversary to what they've painted this to be, is that it looks like foul play. That's the initial emotional trigger. Is these three white kids and done something to this black kid? That's how we look at it.
Right.
That's how we looked at it with the other thing. Is we them three or the multiple white kids that made that black boy had to do. He had to do it. Look how many white boys, he was outnumbered. We don't know which one of them were his friends. He could have just been the antagonist, whatever it was. But and looking at it at face value, they know what they're doing and know how to create the conversation. And it's the same concept in like reality TV. Is when you put a certain script, you put certain players involved, you have different characters, and you let the public opinion do what it's going to do, inflame it however they're going to inflame it. And for all we know, the boys could have dared the kid to do something, and then the undercurrent could have ripped him down and it could have drowned him. But from what we're looking at, it looks crazy. He could have deleted those messages on his own.
True.
Before he died. Could, you know what I mean? But from what we're looking at, the information that they spoon feed us just enough details to get us talking about it. And I'm just over it because it creates a fatigue when in reality, like you said, all we're looking for is justice, but only thing that ends up happening is it turns into a chase of capital. After the money and the settlements have set aside, now we're not talking about reformation in laws. All we're looking at is reparations. That's it. We're not looking at who was involved and how do we stop this from happening in the future. You know, mishandling of cases, late response on police, lack of surveillance in certain areas. We're just it's a color conversation. And again, a distraction because now that's at the forefront of the news. Meanwhile, there's so many other things going on in the world.
I agree. Go ahead, Will. You had a comment?
Yeah, I was gonna say to your point, I agree with you, and like you just said, the capitalism side of it, and then as a community, and I hate to say this, but we all know people that are on this call that look like us, that America doesn't value us. Lives don't have the same value as other individuals' lives. I feel like but, and I'm sure other people on this call feel the same way that I feel, but we know how society views it, right? But when things like that happen, we're contributing to the devalue of the black life in America because it's became gain some capital off of this situation because you're not going to get any justice. And until that stops, that's what it's going to be, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, you know, and that there's lives that people don't view as valued. You get what I'm saying? When in hindsight,
your phone keep going out, Will.
back.
All right.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I was saying when you really look back. Okay, what I was saying was when you really look back on the reality of the United States, this country was built on our backs.
Right.
So there has to be some value, and people have to start speaking up and talking about this. I'm like MacArthur. I'm tired of seeing it. I was talking to one of my mentors probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. There's a couple cases recently that really bothered me. And typically, because I do work in the space, I'm able to kind of gauge stuff out, if that makes sense. Because I've seen some stuff that I probably will never be able to unsee as long as I'm alive. But the reality of it is I'm not desensitized as a black man. You get what I'm saying? I get the same treatment everybody else get, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it is it has to change, and it's not going to change until we stop doing things like allowing people to choose our friends, as one of my close partners would say. I don't allow people to choose my friends. You get what I'm saying? So if we continue to allow other portions of the society, being other cultures, to choose who our spokespeople are, it's going to continue to happen.
Right.
Because those arms are being oiled behind closed doors.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I was having a conversation with a man, and he was telling me, the public defender space. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't want a public defender because of this, blah, 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 blah. You need a private attorney. And I was like, well, it kind of depends on what your financial space looks like. And this is a personal opinion. Because a lot of people don't realize that the public defenders and the district attorneys work in the same office most places, depending on what county you're in, right?
That's right.
Okay. So with that being said, what ends up happening is cases come through the system. Somebody may get something on one case, and somebody may need something on another case, and they may be like, hey, remember the last case? I gave you this. I need this on this case. That's how it works.
Right.
And that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? It's messed up, But I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's no different than and I hate to say it like this, but it's no different than a regular business deal.
It is a
That
regular business deal.
It's a regular business deal. That's the reality of it. But as long as we allow people to continue to keep choosing who speaks for us, that's what it's going to be, is a business deal. Until there's somebody in that space that is going to stand for something. You know what I mean? And I feel like in the beginning of the conversation, it was like, hey, the kids aren't reaching back and we're not reaching forward. I think, and I've said this previously in other sessions, that as black men, it's our duty. You know what I'm saying? When you see that young man that you see going down the wrong path, I had somebody that did it for me when I was a youngster. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, you not built for this. That's just the reality of it. Sometimes you have to take them young men and say that for them to comprehend it. Now they might not understand it when you talking to them, but 15 years down the road, the light bulb may turn on.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I always just kind of view things from a perspective of don't leave situations with any type of recourse. Leave without incident, because you never know when you're going to have to recross that bridge or revisit that conversation. You know what I mean? And that's just my personal take. And I'm sorry if I'm cutting in and out, man.
Oh no, you're good.
I don't even know where I'm at right now. I'm just following the GPS driving. So,
hey, bro, we hear everything that you're saying, so we
all right.
appreciate that.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
To add on to what Will just said, you know, us as blacks, we were the first line of currency. We are America's first line of currency. We are the first American product. You know, the currency and all those things weren't made until they had to sell us. So being that we are the first product, we must understand not only did we create this country, but we are the residents of the entire country. So no matter how much you try to divide us or make us feel like we are not welcomed, we have literally built this country. And it's for us as blacks to regain that. And what I mean by that is like just a sense of community. You know, when there were the Black Wall Streets, you had Harlem that was predominantly black. In the 80s, 90s, Harlem was predominantly black. You have Oklahoma where they had blacks. They destroy everything that is black because they know that they destroyed us from the beginning when they decided to put the dollar next to our name. And as long as we don't have that understanding, we are not going to be able to connect. And what I mean by that is, just like Will said, like you see that young boy and you know he might be just close to the family. Let's just say it's your friend Keisha's son, you know, and you just sitting there and you just telling him like, man, you're not built for this life. And it's important for you to say things like that. And it might not come off that way, you know, it might be just like, man, look, let me tell you how this might go down. Let me tell you what's happened to me. You know what I mean? Those types of things. It's like we need to be able to story tell without motive all the time. Right. Sometimes the young black man just needs to hear a different perspective, not a different opinion. And there's a difference between perspective and opinion. Opinion is something that I want to give to you, right? And it's generated from not only my ego, but it's generated from my emotions, right? That I might not even have controlled. Versus perspective is what I've encountered, what I've gone through. And this is my perspective on how I see this or how I view this. Two different things. When you lead, you don't want to lead with, hey, young boy, man, you should be doing this. It's like, nah. It's like, look, man, I was your age. And matter of fact, let me just pull you to the side. Let me come talk to you real quick. You know, trying something different. Like, hey man, Keisha, let me take your son out real quick, or let me take him to a basketball game. Let me take him to a baseball game. Let me, you know what I mean? Just spend some time with him. It's just like, we got to be able to start within our own home and then allow it to spur out onto other people. You know, like, let's just say you got a son and he's probably hanging around a young man that's unprivileged, and the love that you give to him, even though that's not your child, you know what I mean, might be the love that he needs and that he embraces, just to know that he is actually not only qualified as somebody that can receive love, you know, because we all are qualified for that, but also giving him a perspective of, just because you don't have doesn't mean, just because you didn't have doesn't mean that you can't have.
Right.
And we get stuck there. We get stuck in the monologue too much, to where every day there's something happening with a black person, whether it's being lynched, whether it's being killed, whether it's the justice system, it's all different types of things. And every single time we do the same exact routine. And every single time we get on the internet, as if the internet is not owned by the government. It's like, come on now, like, they're watching every single thing we do. All of these corporations, these TikToks, these Facebooks, the Instagrams. Notice how you can tag all of these accounts together. You can tag them all to your Facebook. You can tag them all to your Instagram. It's like, because they're all aligned together. And they are just taking ownership of everything that we do. That's the reason why we are so suppressed. It's because every single thing that we want to do and we should do is suppressed by a million lies. A million, like, they've dug a hole so deep for us that we literally don't even know how to come out of.
Right.
You know, so it's like, we need to start getting on to the real true details of what's really going on, you know, and instead of talking about it all of the time, learn how to teach our families and families around us how to actually protect our feelings, you know, our emotions, protect these children physically, you know. And it's like, just because they've changed the laws doesn't mean they don't try to segregate us.
Right.
They're still doing that, you know. And it's like it doesn't matter if you're working in a field. You can work in the school system, you can work in any field, and actually see that the advantage is not on our side, you know. So it's about taking that time to really get down into the gritty, and not only just educating each other, but actually showing each other that we have the camaraderie, you know, to not only just be a race, but to be people that make a difference in this world.
I agree. Eckhart, you got a comment? Anthony, Brandon, y'all got a comment? Well, I'm definitely, I mean, Will too. I'm definitely in total agreement that, you know, God has a tendency to connect our children to other people, and we have to mentor them as well. I even got my grandson's father and my granddaughter's father, and I'm learning to be a little more sensitive with them, because I realize neither one of them got fathers, and they're trying to be fathers. And the truth is, they don't have a clue what it takes to be a father. And I ain't no expert. I got some experience, but at the end of the day, we got to make better decisions. And me, even as a father, I got to make better decisions, because, you know, we try, but we got to also understand that if I'm not right, if I don't got myself together, I don't have the empathy or compassion to help somebody else. So I got to be on point so I can help somebody else be on point. And that's what I'm talking about today. We gotta find out how to make sure we're okay so we can bridge the gap for others to be okay. And don't let us always get distracted by what's going on in society. Because society is a cold piece of work. Society will have you believing everything is real. I like watching these videos. And these videos pretty much is nothing but AI. Somebody came up with a plot and they just make the stories. Like MacArthur was talking about, somebody needs to make these stories. Well, realistically, you can just tell AI make the story and AI make the story for you. Straight up. The whole story, the background, the people, the neighborhood, the whole community, AI do it. And we might as well use these tools because they created these tools for us. So let's use them. I'm writing my memoirs. I'm on 20 chapters of a memoir that I was assisted with Copilot. I wouldn't have been able to write no 20 chapters, but the tools are here. Let's use them. Let's find out. Even when I'm ordering stuff off the internet, I send the picture to AI and say, is this real or is this fake? Brandon, you off. What's up, Brandon? Go ahead. Talk.
Man, I'm back on. I use that AI too, man. It's I be conflicted about it, like you said, but it is a powerful tool. It can help you get a lot of stuff done quickly, and it processes information. Man,
It can also let you know what's fake and what's real. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I got a friend that worked for Google, and he's a part of creating an AI, and he's the only black person that's in the actual that part of the facility. And he said that he finds himself in these meetings now where they're trying to pick his brain. He was like, because AI can do everything but be black. And and he said, like, the words, that you can't, they can't distinguish what the words are, the wordplay, the ebonics, and all the things that we use. It can't understand it. It doesn't know how to speak in black. And he said he finds himself every single day where these people trying to pick his brain and hey man, what you like about this? Hey, what you like about this? And what you like about that? And what you think about this? And he's like, boy, I go home and I log off. He's like, cause y'all not getting none of my black intelligence. And he's like, when I go into these meetings and he said in one of the last meetings he had, he said they started talking about the word cap. And of course, cap is the new word that the kids use, and it stands for lion.
Right.
So, he said that they were having a conversation about that word and trying to get AI to understand it. But AI understands cap as so many different things: a baseball cap, a cap that's so it doesn't know how to wordplay.
It can't do slang.
Exactly, and it just goes to show you how impeccable we are. That like we can't be mutated. We can't be genetically modified. We're black, and that just goes to show us that, like, yes, take AI for what it is, and for all of the white intangibles, right? I mean, school and everything that they have built, use it for those things, but also have the understanding that, like, you are an intelligent black person and you still have things that AI does not have. So it's like intuition and a robot became friends.
So one thing, Chris, I always say, I just quit saying black because I'm not black. I'm melon, and the ones who mad is not melon because they can't handle melon. You know what I'm saying? Because if you say black has no definition. That's just something that somebody gave us and we took it. So I'm
not even black, we brown.
Right, we ain't even black.
Shades of brown.
So many shades.
So many shades of brown. They can't even tell. They don't even have those in the color in the crayon.
Right. So we're melon because you got to think about melon can come in any color of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times we can't, like, same thing MacArthur said, we can't get caught up on wordplay. We can't get caught up on, okay, how come this is the biggest story in the world when a young black boy in Mississippi came up missing and then found out dead? We got to want, okay, what's going on in the background that he's making the headline over all the news stations?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's on ABC News, he's on the View, he's on all the news networks. Okay, so what y'all hide? Because that's what you got to look at now. What are you hiding from us?
And what are you taking? Because you're taking this publicity to make America go into the news so that you can hear it throughout the whole world. But it's like you're only showing what you want to show. That's the media, you know? And us as black people, we take social media, the media, you know, and we just start talking about everything and do everything.
Or are they trying to distract us, or are they trying to cause a race war?
Oh, they've already distracted us.
Oh yeah, we're definitely been distracted.
they been got us on distractions.
But I think Mac was trying to have a comment. He's driving. So Mac, did you have a comment? He out there in that sun. So y'all make sure y'all keep Mac lifted up. It's 90 some out here, and he out there moving.
Yeah, keep me lifted, man, because it's the heat index is 110 today. So yeah, pray for me.
How hot is it in
But
that truck?
y'all hitting it, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The truck, the back of the truck is about 115. It's already 93 out here, and it's 10:30.
Jesus.
But irrelevant. So y'all are hitting it. You know what I'm saying? Like I just been thinking about those things. Like it's a way that they said something about Steve Bannon had a playbook for Trump when he got into office, and the word that he specifically used was blitz.
The heat make your skin smooth.
And that right. But he said the word that he specifically used was blitz. And if I can paraphrase what the game plan for it was that when he got into office, he would blitz them with so much that by the time people could grasp it or even get wind of what happened, he was on to the next thing. And if you recall his first just 20 minutes, really like his first 15 to 30 days in office, which is like every single day, if not every 3 or 4 hours, he was signing something else. He was doing something else. He had just said this, did that. And that's the same thing that we see carrying on throughout the rest of this administration. Is that it's just constant fires over here, over there. They'll point over there. We're looking that direction. There's something else going on over here. He done told us this is squash. It ain't. Told us tariffs are coming down. They weren't. I know that firsthand as a driver that they implemented and bumped up tariffs several times to the point where I'm dropping packages off to customers and they're like, no, I already paid for it. I'm like, well, this says you owe another $90, unfortunately. So
is that because of the tariffs? They owe another $90 and they didn't know?
Yeah. But meanwhile, in the news, like, because I'm watching this in line with the news, he's saying that he got rid of everything and that it's back down to normal. So it's just little games like that again, what they end up doing is they desensitize you to any news because you're just like, what happens now? And in line with desensitization is social media and TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and all those things. And furthermore, algorithms.
Right.
Because algorithms and AI have been now, it's a new science or a new method to almost replace the conscious or to duplicate some version of a Holy Spirit, if we can go spiritual. Because now you feed into what what my confirmation bias wants to latch on to. If
Yep.
I feel some type of way about this guy uh going missing for whatever, and I engage in enough of that, that starts to feed me people from all over the world that are feeling the same way I'm feeling. Now in my mind, I'm programmed to think that this is the way that everybody's thinking because look, it's all over my feed. When in reality, this is just the way that the science and the technology works.
Yeah. Using you
So
against you.
it's crazy, man. And then if you don't step away from everything and you can't see the forest for the trees, bro, you lost in the weeds.
You are lost.
Right.
You are lost. You know, because that algorithm, what people don't realize is that we are the algorithm. We created the algorithm. Notice how you could just go like a video, comment on a video. This is how it actually breaks down. When you like a video, it'll show it every once in a while. When you comment on a video, you have become a fan of that type of content. So it's going to show you all of that content. You get what I mean? Like
100% agree.
it is based off of our tendencies. You see, artificial intelligence can only be artificial. It's trying to be us, trying to be God, trying to be all of these different things. You know, it's just like how what I said. If you look at the back of these iPhones, the Apple bitten, it's that simple. It's that simple. Like these are our phones, but they're playing God. They're trying to be God. You know, like how can we are these spiritual beings and these symbolic beings, you know, and we talk about Adam and Eve all of the time, and then we can't look at the back of our phone and see that the apple is bitten. And then when you go into the phone, you see that it's just some people's phones just full of sin, full of evil, full of all kind of stuff, distractions that we're not even supposed to be doing. You know, so it's like not only are they like desensitizing us and taking us away from the true natures of earth, but we don't take time away from the phone. You know, we don't take time and put it into our family. We don't take time and just sit back, not engage in the social media, but just watch it. You know, like we're not grounded no more as people. And it's really everybody. You know, even the pastor is on the phone, on the social media, scrolling on TikTok in the morning. You know, it's everybody that's doing it, and they know that. So because everything is electronic, look, money is electronic. Some places don't even take cash no more.
That's true.
So everything is in the Wi-Fi. Everything is in the phone. So much that nobody has to do anything. So much that Bill Gates was just like, "Hey, I'm leaving Microsoft. I'm leaving Wi-Fi. I created Wi-Fi. Now I can leave." And now all of a sudden I'm into science and I'm teaching y'all what vaccines is about. How you go from a computer engineer to a doctor. It's because you got that money, and they're gonna allow you to fund whatever. They're gonna allow you to fund death.
Hey,
It's
Chris,
population control.
with a mosquito lab,
With a mosquito lab, it's
with a
population
mosquito
control.
with a mosquito lab, my boy. Like, what are we doing
Yeah,
with that?
yeah. It's bro. Look, you got to think about they're dropping these buildings that are full of AI. You know what? And you need water supply to be able to control the building or keep the heating down. You know, it's like, what are we
But
just
you gotta explain. You gotta explain the mosquito lounge so people can know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you wanna break that down or me?
Who said the mosquito lounge? Chris or MacArthur?
It was MacArthur.
Go ahead, Mac.
Go ahead, tell him. I know very 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 minimal on the details, but go ahead, bro.
Well, the mosquito is the most common insect, right? It's what bites us. So what they've done is they take the mosquitoes and they go experiment on them. And just like they did with the rats, they do it with the mosquitoes. They add these poisons, they add these different types of drugs just to see what it would make the human body react to. And Bill Gates is the owner of these things. The
So it's
vaccine,
almost like the
COVID.
Tuskegee. It's almost like the Tuskegee experiment.
Yes, it is. It's the rich not having to do anything with their money but try to control humans. That's all you can do. When you've made $1 trillion, what can you possibly do? You can't do nothing but affect people.
Wow.
You got $1 trillion
And control
but
population.
people. Yes, you got $1 trillion, but it's 1 trillion homeless people in the world. You know what I mean? It's like, it's those types of things to where like we've allowed mediocrity to become power. And then we take the power from the countries that actually have spirit still there, that have soul. Like they strip those countries of all of that. You're stripping people of their joy, of their faith, and they know that is what actually keeps people going, is their faith. You know, so it's like, hey, what if we just keep poking at their faith? What if we just keep, hey, now it's insects, before it was COVID, then it's this. What if we keep taking people's parents, taking people's loved ones, and, you know, like they're doing this every single day. Every day.
Hey, bro. And that's why I'm saying, man, we got to build. We got to have these conversations, because there's other people who are distracted because they're hungry, because they're unemployed, because they're in bad relationships, or because they're on the streets or in the hospital or incarcerated. So if we don't have these conversations where we can get grounded, then the world kind of loses out.
Yeah. It's in the medication too. It's you go to the therapist and they trying to give you 100 milligrams of, I don't know.
Oh, bro, my vitamin D is 50,000 milligrams of vitamin D.
See that's different. That's a vitamin.
I get it though, but I ain't never even heard of that, bro.
You know, 50,000. Come on, man. It's like how 50,000 milligrams of vitamin C. It's like what? How are y'all even putting vitamin C in a pill?
Or vitamin D in that?
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just those types of things. Like I know women that literally take emotional medication every day, right? And the days that they can't take that medication, they make it seem as if like the world has ended. Oh, I don't have my medication, so I'm doing things that I don't usually do. It's like, dang, you can't even control your own. You are depending on a depressant to get you through life.
But think about it. ADHD didn't even come around to the 90s or the 2000s after crack came into the world.
Come on, man.
So when the kids start getting attention disorder, hypertension. And if a black kid...
Well, to be fair, cool, and technology has advanced so much.
Go ahead, Chris.
It has advanced so much. Like, y'all used to call everything the R word.
What, retarded? I'm just saying you want to...
Okay, you go say it then. Go ahead. Yeah, have at it.
No, go ahead.
I thought we was on the syndicated radio show, Shaq. Please be PC.
PG.
So, you know, and only to this moment now we understand that there's a spectrum of autism. You know, that varies. Okay. You know, whereas, you know, you would have, you know, there were people that had Down syndrome, and there were people that we know now to be autistic at whatever scale. But, you know, we were categorizing them as such, and then we were treating them, and then we were medicating them heavily. And now it's different. So it's, you know, to the point of that, you know, it has gotten better in some ways to where we can identify what's this and what's that. And I think a little bit of that is a part of God's plan, you know, him awakening and enlightening his people, and our social conscious overall is rising, because we're not able to sit as a group of black men ranging from the ages that we range from and have this type of intelligible conversation about some of these things, these topics that we talk about. We're not able to have that conversation without, like you said, bridging the gaps and all that stuff without a format to do that. We're not able to have those types of conversation if our conscience isn't elevated. And it's
That's
not
true.
just common sense. It's like being able to really stand back and say, something about this, I haven't been here before, but something about this river doesn't make sense. I've
Okay.
never seen this before in my life, but something in my spirit is telling me no to this. And that speaks to God elevating his people because there is a great divide happening as well. It's a great shift. We're starting to see people for who they are, and we're grounded, or you're either grounded and you're staying still, or you're shifting the other way. There is a great divide happening amongst the people. And it ain't just color.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
And we gotta realize what the work we gotta realize what the basic instructions before leaving Earth told us. So we gotta realize that we're really strangers in this land and we're just passing through.
Hmm.
And once we get that, we'll be okay. Because I've never went to Maui and worried about what was going on in Maui while I was on vacation. While I was in Australia, I wasn't worried about what was going on in Australia because I was on vacation. But if I'm a stranger in this land, I got to make sure I'm on point so I can be a blessing to the next generation, or I can help bridge the gap and just have a conversation with the next generation. Because if the old people are not talking to the young people and nobody's communicating, we don't have a clue. We just saying they out there bad, or they out there acting a fool, or they out there crazy. I was watching Law and Order because my wife keeps it on Law and Order, and a 13-year-old boy shot somebody, and they said they was going to try him as an adult. Like, how do you try a 13-year-old boy who haven't even developed in his brain as an adult and put him in prison with adults? And that was the whole thing behind it. And I think it was Will who said, yeah, they working behind the scenes trying to negotiate, and they ended up arresting the principal because the principal was told at the school the boy had a gun. The principal, when they asked him, he said he didn't, and then a teacher ended up getting shot. So because they couldn't charge the boy as an adult because people started fighting for him because he grew up in a foster home, he had all kind of stuff going on in his life, they charged the principal with manslaughter because the principal and the boy was melon. So they had to find somebody to charge for the situation. And I was like, wow, society is crazy, bro. You're going to charge a
Was that
13-year-old.
was the show? Was that the show with Ice-T?
I don't know if Ice-T was on there. I don't know. I just saw it in a net because, Net is hooked on Law and Order. I think she just, that's
I was gonna
how
say it sound
Yeah,
like some sexual
yeah,
misconduct.
yeah. Ice-T is on it, and Anthony
Yeah, that
Davis
is the show with
is on
Ice-T.
it.
You're right. Yeah. But the whole thing is, if we're not communicating with our children and we're not telling them you don't need a gun, like I just had an argument with a couple of my friends, and it wasn't an argument, it was a disagreement. Oh, we're gonna buy you a gun because you need to protect yourself. I don't need a gun. I don't want a gun. I don't need a gun. And I think my attitude is too bad to have a gun because I got a bad attitude. So I don't need a gun. And I grew up getting shot at. So no, I don't want a gun. Don't buy me one. Don't put me in situations I don't want to be in. And it is what it is. And people was offended. I'm like, okay, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. If you choose that for yourself, that's fine. But that ain't what I choose to do. So don't do that. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
I don't have a gun either, but I got a sword. You come in my house, you're gonna get chopped up.
First of all, dude, you like 6'8". Who's gonna come in your house, bro? That's all I'm saying.
I chop you up. I
Bro,
chop you
you
up, boy.
like 6'8", and you're a man of melon. Who's gonna
I
walk in your house?
I Jim
Especially
Kelly.
when you do that.
Hey, I'll Jim Kelly, Bruce Lee on you in a minute. Jim Kelly, Bruce Lee. My wife always say that. She's like, you can't see the racism in Cedar because ain't nobody saying nothing to you. I was like, I see it, but I chose to be different. I speak to people and all of that. But when these white folks know they can't come up on me, they already know that. They know. They're like, you know what? He's a tad bit crazy. I don't know what I might get, so I better speak back. So, but to all of the stuff we saying, man, being divided. As black people, we've been divided. But now that you have Trump in office, who has created the most division of any president in the United States. But I always tell people, man, we always talk about Trump, but we had slavery.
Right.
We was getting beat. We picking cotton like so. I mean, at the end of the day, what Trump doing ain't nothing new under the sun. To be honest with you, but
I was
you
just saying,
know,
there's nothing new under the sun.
but and this stuff is crazy. We talk about Bill Gates, we talk about Trump. They should be in jail just like R. Kelly and Puff Daddy, if you want to be honest. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's just I'm not really on social media like that. Um, I don't have Facebook. I have Twitter where I can only see Twitter, but I don't have it where I can respond to it. Um, and that's a choice for me. Everybody be like, man, you ain't on Twitter. What about the basketball players that be going, they be going on Twitter and they be posting all that stuff. I was like, look, I need to see a kid with my eyeballs anyway. When I see a kid with my eyeballs, I'm good. I ain't my head coach still be laughing at me. He's like, man, boy, we be sending stuff on Twitter in this group chat and they were like, you can't even see it, huh? I was like, no, I can't see it. Don't want to see it. But and to me, all of that is a choice. I chose to do that because something that happened with one of my friends on Facebook with him and his wife. So I chose to do that a long, long, long time ago. But you're right. I always say Fox News and certain news is fake news because it's Trump news. You notice CNN kind of keep it real with you as much as possible. Certain networks still keep it real. I mean, even Trump said something about some networks, and he was talking about CNN, and I think he was talking about ABC. I can't remember, but because they still telling the truth, and he don't like it. And we know what Trump trying to do, man. The billionaires are buying billionaires are buying a lot of the social media stuff up, and any TV stuff they can buy up so they can protect Trump. But
Well, the other part too, bro. They're all in it together.
oh,
So
absolutely. Yeah, that's why he's in there. This dude done
yeah,
made $2 billion. He done made $2 billion since he been the president. Like it's like like we say, man, we got to open our eyes to stuff. We got to educate. We got to educate the young ones as much as they want to be educated. Right? You got some of them that don't want to be educated. I got a son that want to be educated. But he about to be homeless in a minute if he don't go to jail. But they have to want to be educated too, man. You just it goes back to even with the coaching. Talking about how excited I am about this team, and we don't even have our 7'1" Russian kid yet, who probably won't get here probably till mid or late August. And with this being maybe the best team we've had, we got to really coach these kids up in every way, just not on the court, but off the court and in the classroom, making sure they, sitting up in front when they're in class. And if they're just online, we got to check all their stuff. There's so much stuff, but they have to, when we're talking about our kids or we talking about the younger generations, they have to want the information at the end of the line. And then as long as they want it, we should be giving it,
some stuff, man, I
even,
think we just need to give them because everybody else is giving them information. Social
absolutely.
media is giving them information. So, like our parents told us up front, this is not your home. You live in my house. So we knew in our minds we had to get grown enough to get our own place, get our own car, take care of our own family.
Absolutely.
We knew. So some stuff we got to give them. We got to give them love. We got to give them understanding. We got to give it to them because they don't just get it. And
Right.
society is, they don't, Michael Jackson said it best. They don't really care about us. So,
And the other thing is you trip, like even as parents, like it's I told my wife one time because at school one day one of the girls got called a black monkey or something, and she came home and she was pissed off. And I told her, I was like, and my wife was like, okay, you always want to revert to that. I was like, sometimes I told my twins, I said, if somebody call you a racist name, I want you to haul off and slap the hell out of them. And daddy got your back. I'll be at the school first day smoking. And I went to the principal and I told him that, the fifth grade teacher. I said, principal, I said, hey, look, you got some of these African American kids on this freaking campus and stuff is being said. And the principal agreed. He's like, I understand, coach. This is the first time I know it's happened to your twins. And I said, well, it's gonna be the last time because I want you to understand what I told my twins. I told them to slap the hell out of somebody. I told the principal that. And they about to go to sixth grade, where they're gonna be sixth grade to eighth grade. If something happened, I'll be going up to that school and I'm gonna tell the principal the same thing. Because they got these sixth, 7th, 8th graders on the bus with high school kids, which is just crazy. Never heard of anything like that. And my wife, my wife was like, "Why you got?" I said, "Because no, that's my wife had said. I don't understand why my baby's got to go through that." And I said, "Why not? Why not?" To me, I think it's a good thing because it's preparing them to understand people won't like you because of your color. I can't think of a better way for them to learn than, God got us here for a short period of time and he got us here for a reason. And for me, it's like, why not them? Just like I always ask, when stuff happen, I'll be like, okay, why not me? God, what you trying to teach me or what I'm trying to learn. But also at the same token, for me, I told my babies, I said, hey, now once you haul off and slap somebody, you might have to fight. You better be ready to fight. But your dad got your back because it's just sometimes you have to revert to that, and it has to be done sometimes. So, but my girls are getting a great lesson in, and they don't really know it, but they're getting a great lesson in racism right now because the softball all-star game. Of all the teams, there were only two black girls on 5 teams. There wasn't 6 teams that was in the All Stars. They're the only 2 black girls in the All Stars, and I think it's great because they can hit, they can catch, they got speed, and so people talking about them. I was like, that's a good thing. I was like, now I think they see that part, but I don't think they understand what that means, if that makes sense. But it's a shame. My wife was like, it's a shame that we got to check our daughter's phones. Roblox got stuff on it and all kind of. And I was like, yeah, it's a shame, but they also got to know too. Like if y'all see something, y'all need to let us know. Now we know when you're kids, if you see something, there's a likelihood you probably not telling your parents because it done caught your eyes entertaining or whatever it may be. So, but I mean, all this stuff, man, is just, I agree with everything that's been said about us teaching stuff and even with the medicine part, I'm a little partial to that because I think the right medicine can help people. I've seen that because I've worked with emotionally disturbed kids. I have a emotional disturbed son who has mental health issues who won't take medication. So I see what it do that way too. But you know, uh, you know, God is still good, and at the end of the day, He never told us that we wouldn't go through any of this stuff. He always said He'd be with us. So
So we made a decision.
that's my 2 cents.
All right, so I made a decision to live in a community, and it's
That's
only.
what's up.
Can you hear me? I made a decision to live in a community where it's only one black kid, and he's our next door neighbor. And at one point, they was playing football together, and the little white kids made a joke because it was the 2 black kids and a white kid was on the same team, and they called them Oreos. And I told my son, and I kept it a buck. They came over and said, "Can your son play?" I said, "Well, Oreos taste better than vanilla wafers, so my kids can't play." So I put my son in a school where there's a mixed race of kids, and the majority of his friends are the same color as him. So no, I'm not gonna just accept anything and be okay with it. So do he associate with the kids in our community? No, not at all. They might see him, he might say what's up or do the head, but he gets a ride to school. He goes to a school where there's other black kids. He's on a trip in Florida right now. The team is all black. I mean, unfortunately, I moved to a neighborhood that I like, but he don't have to be subjected to the foolishness. And they know. They know up front, like, oh, okay, well, we ain't gonna talk crazy to him. Because his parents would tell him. Because when they came knocking on my door, hey, can your son play football? I said, nah, because Oreos taste better than vanilla wafers. So y'all going about y'all business. You know what I'm saying? So they don't come over. You might speak, I speak, but hey, I see them advertising Oreos. I don't see them advertising vanilla wafers. That's all I'm saying. You know?
Heck, there
All
was
you
a
can
concern
do,
with how your boy tasted, bro. They was just trying to play ball with him.
Hey, bro, that's all right.
Okay,
He
you
ain't playing
gotta
ball.
relax. Now,
Nah,
what's funny is listening to y'all. I have 3 kids of my own, so I'm not absent of any of the emotion on either side. But it's literally from the outside looking and listening in. You have two
I can't
different
hear him.
perspectives.
I can hear him.
Oh, you can hear him?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
him. Go ahead,
two
Chris.
two
Matt.
different perspectives on similarly the same kind of issue. Whereas, I don't know your name, sir, but he said something
Daryl.
about who? Daryl? Okay.
Donald.
Donald. Okay. Yeah, he
is this
mentioned
Will or MacArthur talking?
MacArthur.
But that's MacArthur talking.
Okay, all right.
The
Yeah, he
other
had
Chris.
mentioned how he implores his kids to you know knock the hell out of somebody if they say something wrong. And at the bottom line or at the core of that, I hear I don't want my children to tolerate disrespect for a minute, right? And you, on the other hand, you're saying I'm a safeguard them from ever having to be in a situation where I have to tell you to do this or that. So it's almost like they would call you a helicopter parent in today's society, which
With the
at the
helicopter
core of it,
thing.
it's just being there to rescue seemingly them at whatever pitfalls or any danger they may have. Um, and I don't think either approach is wrong. I wanted to make that observation because I think there's no way to be completely objective about parenting. At the core of it, I think you do want to refer to God and make sure that everything that you do is led in love. But we're also all coming from different creeds, different backgrounds. We live in different places
Right.
where I may not have the same encounter with kids messing with my kid in California that I do here in Georgia. And I've had to tell my son several times, you know, um, he's like, why? Like this is what we've experienced with my son Carter. He's 13-year-old black kid, obviously. And we live in predominantly white neighborhood. He goes to majority white and Indian school. And the culture here in Georgia is that there is this underlying generational racism, and they find it funny or cloudy to call each other the N word, to tell Carter to hop around like a monkey, all the stereotypical black stuff. So that now if he wants to bring watermelon for lunch or he's out with his friends. They won't go get fried chicken. They'll get Chick-fil-A, but they won't get fried chicken because now it's a pool of jokes. How you doing? Yeah, it's a pool of jokes that now he now has to defend himself for. And me not have ever having grown up in that, or ever having to have dealt with that. My knee jerk is to say, hey, we'll just punch him in the mouth. But I know that after I've given that enough thought, that him just trying to fight his way out of racism or racial encounters, he's going to be fighting the rest of his life. And it may go as far as to where people are intentionally baiting him because they know he's a fighter. right? And we're talking about a young man now. Um, and the other side of that is him just being complicit, seemingly, or just trying to be avoidant. And then he takes the avoidant measure, and then now he's looking at people like he either can't trust them or he just becomes so isolated. And I don't think isolation is good for anyone, more or less a child, a developing child. So there is that conundrum, between which is the right way to go there. Um, because it's out here. And if we could plug that out, we would. So, I mean, I don't necessarily have a bottom line on anything I'm saying. I just wanted to make that observation because I do deal with both sides of the coin that you guys both just mentioned, raising my own kids. My daughter, my eldest daughter, she's 9, and her world is still playground and recess and Barbie dolls right now. But there's been an influx of I wish I had blonde hair and I wish my hair was straight. Now her mom went through a series where she had cut her bangs and then she was flat ironing her hair every day in the fall. And I got to the point where we had a conversation. It's like we're not going to conform to anything that makes them comfortable,
Right.
because not only is this damaging her hair, but this is damaging a complex or a version, the vision of herself that she ought to see herself as beautiful as. She's a beautiful black girl with natural hair. She don't have 4C, and shout out to 4C. My son got 4C. He got that from me. But her curl pattern is beautiful enough to where these other girls will go out here and try to emulate that. And they're gaslighting you to think that your natural beauty is horrendous until they steal it from you. And now they try to be you.
That part.
Tell you your skin is dark and ugly, and then they go to spray tanning salons. You know what I'm saying? Tell you your butt is fat and flabby, and then they go get injections. We've seen this time and time again. So, you got big old fat monkey lips, and then you getting lip filler. So just trying to teach our kids to embody their blackness and be comfortable in the skin that they were born in. At the same time, trying to fight back some of the negative, the negative racism that they're growing up in. It's tough, man.
And I respect that. I respect that, but I had to, because I made a choice to live in this type of community. So I had to make a choice to put him in an environment that was comfortable to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to leave just because I moved in this environment and just because these kids think it's a joke. Well, we're not finna play this game. We're not finna play. We're not playing no games. I'm not telling you to be racist, but what I am going to tell you is respect yourself. I'm going to send you to a school where y'all can, all of y'all can get along. But just because you live in this community, you don't have to. You don't have to associate with people who don't like you. You don't have to. If they choose to be in their surroundings, that's great. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at whatever you choose to do. But as for me in my house, I'm going to make sure, and I ain't going to say it's safe, but I'm going to make sure he's in a space that he's comfortable in. My daughter was different. My daughter went to a school with 90% everybody else, but my daughter only dealt with her. My daughter picked her friends well, and my daughter was in ROTC. But my son is different. He a black man. He's 6'3" or almost 6'3". He's 15 years old, and of course, people are intimidated, and they're gonna say stuff. So I made sure he went to a school where it made sense. I went to a place and then reminded him, if you want to be friends with people, fine. If they choose not to be your friend, and anybody who disrespects you is not your friend. So if you don't want to associate with certain people, you don't have to. You can give them a nod and keep it moving. And it is what it is. It ain't no disrespect. It's just, I'm not going to have that part of my life, I'm not going to deal with.
Yeah, I think, well, for me personally, with my twins, if they're in softball, that sport, is pretty much white. Um, Track is more black.
Okay.
Gymnastics, you know, you got certain volleyball starting to get some black girls in it, but a lot of white. So they're playing sports where because they haven't shown that they want to be basketball girls yet, like their sister was that got killed. So for me, I think it's good for them to be in this environment because they got to learn how to. If they're going to be in these type of sports, then they're going to have to learn how to cope with certain things. Now, I will
Right.
always say this. I always tell people this because people always ask me, you know, what was one of my best learning experience? And I said one of my best learning, the best thing that happened to me, and I don't know if Wood feel the same way, but the best thing that happened to me is I went to Porterville Junior College. And at Porterville Junior College, the only blacks was the blacks that was on basketball, football, track. That it was only the athletes. It was basically white and Latino. And the reason why that was so good for me is because I grew up in Gary, Indiana. 99.5 black folks. I might have had two white people in my school. But being at Porterville taught me how to deal with everybody. And it's one of the best learning experiences I had because I can deal with everybody. I can walk in a room with white folks and be comfortable. I can be here in Cedar City. Well, my wife not as comfortable, but my twins is actually have some comfortability because of their daddy, right? So I think just certain things, and you know, I'm totally 100% of what you've doing with your son because it's, hey, you do what you do. But because of where I'm at in the situation I'm in, and because of where I've been as a player for 3 years of my life, I understand the importance of that, and I understand the importance that it had for me in my life. And so that's why I keep trying to tell my wife I want the girls to have that because they're playing sports that they're pretty good in, but everybody don't look like them. Um, and that's why I'm so hard on them about their academics. But so I think everybody is a little different. And I'm not telling these girls to fight all the time, but I think sometimes you smack somebody really good, the others around them be like, "Oh man, no, I don't think I want to mess with them like that." And so that's my only deal. It's not that I'm telling them to fight all the time, but what I am telling them is there come a time where you got to stand up for yourself,
Right.
and when you stand up for yourself, best to believe your daddy got your back. Now, hopefully, I've taught them enough so as they go older, they're good. And my girls are very social, so they, you know, a lot of their friends are white because that's where we at. Now they got the friends that are black, they hang with them too, and they got some mixed friends. But I think sometimes everything is for certain people are different, and so I think you got to parent in that way when it is different, you know. And so
Well, I
I
think
don't.
what happened over here, it was one black kid, and then somebody came. So they was because their parents, I guess their parents was just telling them, you know, you got to do the best, whatever you can. Well, I'm not that complicit. So you ain't finna just no. You do not have to associate with these people, and I'll make sure you're around some other people who looks just like you. And if I have to put you in sports, I have to put you in whatever I have to put you in to make it work. So, you know, that's why he goes to a different school. He don't associate. And I'm not knocking what anybody else believes, but because I moved in this community and I thought this was the best thing, doesn't mean you have to, you know, accept. It's probably like 5 or 6 of them. It's probably more. But on my side, because it's the reserves, that initially that was their little joke and they was getting away with it. Well, when they found out, well, it's another family over here, they ain't accepting that foolishness. And
as
they
you as he shouldn't, right? But let me ask you this: what happens when he want to play baseball?
he
Let's
he
just
play,
say
he,
he
he throws the
what-
disc right now. So
Okay.
he's around them.
Okay. Then okay. I'm just making sure, like, there's even with our sons, basketball is our thing, but there's a lot of kids playing baseball now. You even got a few brothers playing hockey now. So they got to deal with the other race because those sports are pretty much white for the most part. You know what I mean? So I just think um in every way, like you said, and you're doing what you're supposed to do. And he's throwing the disc, so he around a lot of white boys throwing the disc because that ain't no black thing as much. But uh
But I'm just saying, because I made a decision doesn't mean he has to deal with that situation. I mean, you can live in a community around people. We all live around people in our communities who are our neighbors, and they don't even speak to you.
yeah,
I ain't
absolutely.
mad because I didn't buy this house hoping you speak to me. I bought
Absolutely.
this house because I like this house. If you choose to speak, I'm definitely going to speak. If you choose not to speak, I'm cool. And no harm, no hurt, no harm, no love lost. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to tolerate shenanigans. I'm going
Absolutely.
to tolerate
You
disrespect.
know what?
Go ahead.
No, the deeper question I have is because this is my third go around with as far as my third child and watching them grow from these innocent little lights of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
In preschool to even kindergarten. It's like at what age or what point do children begin to see, color?
They see what you see.
You're
Like
right. They see what
this
their
is
parents
Right?
want them
You
to
get what I'm
see.
saying? You get what
like
I'm
this
saying? So
is
so it's like that's the root of the whole thing right there is that
yeah.
whatever's going on at home is manifesting in these kids. However
Oh,
they
absolutely.
see their parents treating other people of color is how so it's really, comes to down to that. So that, I
And
mean,
Absolutely.
also
I'm all for addressing because that's what my mom was. My mom was all about she a punker kid. You can't do that today. She done pulled over some people's kids and yoked them up behind me, and I love her for that. But she also has gone to the parents like, what the f is you doing? And your son is saying this, or your daughter's doing this and saying that, or whatever. And I'm all with that, as opposed to you know giving my kids some ammunition because I don't want to send him with this on a dummy mission. You know what I'm saying? And that's just that has something to do with. And I'm not saying anything that y'all are saying is wrong or anything like that because I've told him I said, yo, already gave him a warning. So at this point, you ain't a black belt in Taekwondo for no reason. Show him what it do. Handle your business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to go out and just beat everybody's ass because they don't like the way your skin is, but they're not gonna like you because of who you are, how great you show up, and that's the bottom line. And as parents, it's tough to sit there and watch your kids struggle with shit that you just don't like. That's it's so disgusting to watch because
But
our
when
kids
you
are the most innocent, precious kids or beings in our own eyes, and to
when
see
you know
anything come against that is just horrible.
when you think about it though, I look at racism as a form of bullying.
It
Yep.
is.
So, and at some point, you gotta let a bully know. I ain't. You can't bully me on this street. You at some point you gotta let them know. So when I actually
Yeah.
talked to the principal, and I told him what I said, I also told him when you suspend my little girl because she done slapped the hell out somebody, you make sure when you bring her back, you bring that kid parent who said what they said, so we can have a conversation in your office.
Right.
And he looked at me, and go, I've never had a parent say that to me. I said, well, you got one now. And so, I mean, I think that you're 100% right. Is learned at home. Some
Yeah.
of it,
I'm just saying.
but most of
No,
it, a
but I
lot of some
believe
of it. I mean, I
no,
think
no. I
kids.
believe certain communities want to protect their community, and when you move in their community, they
Oh,
allow their
absolutely.
kids to say stuff, and then
Hmm.
they get offended when and I make sure I go walking. I walk 2 miles every day. So I want to make sure every single parent knows I'm at home, I work from home, and you're going to see me, and you're not going to disrespect my kid. Matter of fact, my kid's not going to go to school with your kids. And if my son chooses to speak to your kids, that's cool. But once disrespect sets in, and my kid ain't going to fight. I just separate yourself. And when they see you and you're not dealing with them, then they realize racism, that family right there ain't finna deal with racism under no circumstance. I had a water leak, and it was a water company fault. And the neighbor had an attitude, told the water guy, a black guy came out, he coming to my house. I don't want to deal with this. He go talk to the white guy for like 15, 20 minutes. And the white guy, well, my water is all messed up because of his water and this, and that. Bro, all you had to do was come over and tell me my water was affecting your water. I would have cut the water off. I thought the water was just going into a lake, but I cut the water off and used the water when I needed to, cut it off. Now the water is fixed. You don't have no excuse. But if you got a problem, tell me the problem. Don't go around trying to tell other people, everybody in the community, the mailman, everybody know, oh, your water finally got fixed. How do you even know? Well, who told you? Who's sitting around talking to you? I said, well, anyway, it was busted. Water company busted it. So I told you I was going to sue them. I wasn't paying no $10,000 to get something fixed that I didn't bust. So I don't care if the water leaked. Y'all busted it. Y'all fixed it. Eventually, they fixed it. It took 3 years, but they fixed it. But my thing was, I'm not finna spend $10,000 of money I don't have to fix something you busted. We're gonna go to court. I'm gonna fight it, and when it get fixed, it get fixed. I told the HOA the same thing. The water company busted it. Y'all got a problem with it? Y'all call the water company. I pay HOA fees. Y'all fix it. You got a problem with it? You fix it. I pay HOA fees all the time. Ever since I've been living here. So if you got a problem with something going on in the community, you got a fund that you can fix it. If you don't want to fix it, you wait till my lawsuit go through and it get fixed. And the conversation ended from there. And now it's fixed. No more problem. I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna hit like on like 3 pointers. But I'm gonna say
You gotta speak up a little.
All right. You can hear me, guy?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. One of the first thing is that I'm not sure if it was Will or MacArthur, but I heard one of them speaking on having the difference between a public defender and a lawyer or attorney.
That was Will.
Yeah. The truth is, and all of these are going to tie together, but the truth is that we're not educated.
Right.
So
it's a public pretender, but anyway.
Exactly. But even if you have the public pretender, right? If you're educated and you understand the law, now you have that public pretender in your favor because they have to pretend. And this is what a lawyer really is. You know what I mean? Like they all have to like do some type of pretending to get you out of or get you into whatever system is going on. You get what I mean? And
right.
If you have a public defender, but you are educated and you understand the law, you are dangerous. But because you don't know the law and because you aren't educated, you know what I mean? And you don't have people around you that have the understanding of these things, you're going to go for a lawyer. You're going to spend your hard-earned money. You're going to make people spend thousands of dollars just for you to get a decision made on you. When you can take that same money and just read on the laws that have to do with your particular case, but we don't want to do that. And we do that a lot, you know, where we just like, hey, I don't feel like doing the work, so I'm just going to pay for the work to be done. And that's one thing. The second thing is the areas that Coach lives in, which is those mountainy areas, the Colorados and the Utahs, right?
Right.
You got to have an understanding that the only time you see it, it's like there's only 3 sets of black people that are there. It's black people that have migrated there and there for work, right? There's the black people that have gone to school there, right? And then there's black people and you see interracial
You see interracial everywhere. You see the black guy dating the white woman. You don't see black women dating a white guy. I mean, yes, you do. You actually do see that in Utah and Colorado as well. But you see interracial, right? So
Right.
they're creating they those are the only black societies or representations, reflections that you're going to see. So you have to be able to let your kids know that. It's like, notice how you don't see black people. Notice what type of black people you see, and then break it down. Because the only thing that you could do when it comes to parenting is be there, be aware. Those are the two, and support and respect them. Those are the main qualities, because there's no manual, right? They still will have to go out into the world and be whoever it is that they have been, that whoever they are. But half of who they are is who you are. They are a reflection of what you are, where you are in your life, and what's going on in your household. So it's about preparation. You can't tell them and make every decision for them, but you can prepare them. And preparing them is the true job. That's the detailed job. You got to let them know, hey, look, baby girl, you notice that they're interracial couple. Notice you don't see a lot of black people here. Well, this is why these dynamics look like this. You get what I mean? So that she or he can be able to grow up and have an understanding of the environments that they're in, no matter where they go to.
Right.
It's like having those conversations. It's like Coach said, he got a 7-foot Russian that's coming onto the team. I had 2 7-foot Russians on my team. This is the crazy part. I went to a HBCU, and half of my team was international. So half white boys and half black boys. And these white boys are not from the same country. Some of their countries don't even like each other, and they're white. You know what I mean? And it's like I went and brought me an iPad, not an iPad, but a little iPod. This is like back in the day when they had the iPods that looked like the phones. And I downloaded Translator, and I sit in the back of the bus, and I had that translator on running, and I'd save all the conversations that they were having, and I would translate it. And just so happened, I ended up going to play basketball in Russia. When my coaches is looking at me and they saying certain side notes about me, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, hey, man, I understand y'all's language. And then I start speaking it back to them, and they have no clue how I learned Russian. Now they have to change their perspective. Now is, oh, you know that face they make when you got caught?
Yeah.
It's like those things. It's like all you can do is prepare your child. And preparing your child is what really matters. And
Yeah.
you playing.
Well, and I believe that prepared them. I explained to them, we live in a community where people are going to be racist, but the moment they say something out of pocket, you do not have to go back trying to be their friend. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. If somebody disrespect you, I don't care, black, white, Chinese, whatever, you don't have to have that person be a part of your life. And you can remove yourself from that situation. And he removed himself. And I was like, you're not going to sit in the house and not have no friends, or just you and your next door neighbor. I'm going to put you in a school where you're comfortable in the school and you pick your friends.
Yeah, teach integrity.
Yes.
That's all.
And now when they see him, they're like, what's up? He just head them up and keep going. Because now they know, evidently, what they said affects them. It doesn't affect him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't catch the bus with them. You don't associate with them. And now every time they see him, they're trying to get his attention. And he's like, I don't need their attention. So that's their loss. That's not his loss. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like when I'm walking, that's their loss. They always walk, as soon as I pass by them, their heads are down. Put your head down for it. You know what I'm saying? If you speak, hey, how you doing? But your head down, because you're a reflection of who your parents are.
Yeah, and that's what racism is.
That's it. You are a reflection. And I'm not tripping. I don't care if your parents don't like you, don't like me. There's some people in this life I don't like. Yeah. I used to live next door to another person, and somebody had to remind me that's their forever home. And I had to tell him, I'm like, dude, you know why I don't like you? He's like, no, why don't you like me? I said, because you're a fake racist. I don't care if you're a racist. You're a real one. You over here laughing in my face, and then you call HOA. You over here doing this stuff, then you go talk about your other friends. I said, quit speaking to me because you're a fake racist. I would respect you more if you was a real racist. You know what I'm saying? Don't speak to me. I don't dislike you, but don't speak to me because one time he said, yeah, I work at FedEx and I got 200 people who listen to everything I said. I said, what that got to do with me? Don't get mad because this is a house I'm just using to get the money out of it so I can move to a better house. I know this your little forever home over here, but don't come over here talking to me because you're a little fake racist. Well, I got black friends. I said, what's their name? You didn't have a name. Like, you little fake racist. I don't even care if you're racist. You got a lot of white friends? No. Why? Because I just don't. They ain't the people who I associate with. And the last neighbor here used to come over and tell me all his business. I said, and now you're telling me his business. Again, you're a fake racist. So stop talking.
Hey, Chris, I like the Russian boys, man. The Russian boys are tough, boy. You get one that's a little soft every now and then, but
Yeah,
them Russian boys ain't got no. They got a little something to them now.
they do.
They came from Russia.
They do.
You know how hard you got to be to live in Russia? How cold it is in Russia?
Bro, first off, you got to be hardcore. They have this hardcore mentality about them where we don't realize this. Like in Russia, they deal with their own culture. It is not easy. It is not easy living there. Those boys try to escape those cultures because they live in like communism.
Yes,
they live in strict hard rules. Why you think there's so much land space? You see Russians are crazy, right? But the Russians that are crazy, they have the land space to be able to do that because they know that the government don't play. You know what I mean? Why you think they're not afraid of us? Russia let us know all of the time, like, hey, look, man, we don't care if we lose or not. We ain't afraid of y'all. And that's how they actually come here. All of those boys that's in that Baltic, that whole area, the Russia, you got Ukraine, you got Estonia, you got Poland, you got Latvia. Those boys, they don't live in the best conditions, man.
No, they don't.
When I went to Estonia, it was like, man, I thought I was gonna be living in something like exquisite. I was living in a pretty recreational hostel. It was like a recreation center / hostel. And of course I got a good room, because those are the rooms that the team actually pays for. But it's like, I didn't, my parents didn't teach me none of that. I was, when I went to, and this is why I think that kids should play sports, man. And I don't say this because I'm a sports player, but it's something that comes with sports, man, that teaches you the basics of life.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
How deep you get into that sport is how deep you will have an understanding of life. Like when I look at my basketball career and I look at the coaches that I had, I look at the environments that I had to go through, all of these different things. This is like, man, I wouldn't trade that for nothing in the world.
Absolutely.
Compared to a boy that might have went to Division I and he was enabled and he was just catered to. This is like, I'm happy that I did not have that experience. You want to know why? It's because it shaped me in so many forms of life that, when I'm training right now, I have these young boys that get clients all of the time, right? Because they have credentials, and their only credential is that they went to Division I basketball, right? But then God places me in the environments where I'm at competition with these guys, right? And they're having no understanding of why. They're like, man, what did Chris really do for that for him to be this big old trainer? And it's like people would say, well, Chris didn't have to go D1, but he went pro though. He didn't have to go through the same things that you went through, but he went pro, and he knows how to actually teach the game, and he cares about these kids. Now we're having the conversations of, hey, I'm going to go and pay Chris this money because not only is he teaching my kid the skills, but he's teaching my kid about integrity. He's teaching my kid how to handle their body, how to handle their mind. is because those are the true intangibles of life, not just sports. You know, you want to teach your child how to have integrity. You
Yep,
want them to
absolutely.
be able to face. You want them to be able to face racism, and then think on integrity, so that they're like, oh, I see this person that is just showing a reflection of themselves. They might envy me. You know, they might want to be me. They might not know how to have a conversation with me. You know, I want my child to be that type of child
I told
that is
I
able to have an understanding that integrity is what's going to keep you away from all of that, because you might run into a coach that is just like, ah, here go another black child, but you sound so intellectual, you sound well prepared, you sound like you got manners, you've been taught well, and these people, it changed these people's perspective on you, and now
Yeah,
you like,
and that's
oh,
the part.
I got
I go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I'm saying that's
I
the
was
part.
hey I was teasing.
Go
I
ahead.
was oh I
Go
can't. Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yeah,
I
I can
can't
hear you.
hear.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay, so Chris, what I was saying is I respect the fact that the sports, I think the sports is the greatest thing to help kids learn how to deal with people in general. I think sports, I think sports help kids to be well rounded. I think sports, community, those different things help kids to be well rounded. I think when parents make decisions to move places, they have to also understand the environment that they're putting their children in. And they got to make
man.
decisions for their kids because, some kids can be so physically, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically abused, they'll take their life. So I want my kids to be strong enough to know that what a person think about you is a reflection of who they are. That don't have nothing to do with you. That's a reflection of who they are. And don't carry that at all.
Absolutely. I was teasing my head
You are
coach.
a reflection of what they want to be.
I was
Right.
teasing my head coach, right? I was like, man, we gotta hurry up and win this year so we can get out of here. I don't want these white boys to start pushing up on my twins.
So you don't want your you don't want to have a mixed race, you don't want to have a mixed race of children.
And then my coach say, well, how was you when you was in high school and college? I said, in high school, I didn't even see no white people. I said, I had some Puerto Rican girls in my area that was pretty. I said, but he said, well, what about college? I said, well, it had to do what it had to do in college now, brother.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if you can teach your kids integrity and not allow what people say to affect them and realize that's a reflection of who they are, I think life is
It's
great.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's over.
Absolutely.
They got the tools. Those the tools right there.
That's
And
it.
you being there for them, you showing up for them. You get what I
Yeah, and
mean?
then
And
just to let them know, because I see parents who kids, I was watching some, and the kid had the same problem for like 3 or 4 years. And the mother's like, well, I've been telling the principal, well, it's your responsibility to take your kid out that school. You know what I'm saying? If they're not respecting your kid, the school not respecting your kid, why is your kid still there?
yeah,
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
fellas, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I got to get ready for this EYBL.
All right, bro, it's all good.
Uh,
Okay. I
all
think
right, man.
something going on in
Yeah.
the background. Chris is making some kind of noise in the background.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the end of the day, y'all, we got to respect ourselves. We got to understand what's going on in life. And when you realize, and that's why I read this book, The Five Agreements. It says, but this one is the Four Agreements. I got the Five Agreements too. Be impeccable with your words, speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using words to speak against yourself or gossip about others. Use the power of your words in the direction of truth and love. Don't take anything personal. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say or do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Don't make assumptions and always do your best. So that's what I'm saying. What people think or say is a reflection of who they are. That
Jazzy,
has nothing to do with you.
see if your sister responded, because if not, you guys are gonna have to go to Auntie Dominique's
Oh,
in a minute.
I think Donald's still on the line. But yeah, at the end of the day, when you realize that what people do or say is a reflection of who they are, and you can step away. You can just step away from negative people. You know what I'm saying? Unless they in your face constantly, that's a reflection of who they are. Step away from them. And unfortunately, that's what I do to one of my kids. He had to step away, go to a different school, and create his own friendships. There's other kids live in the community. My daughter went to a school, 90%, Caucasian or non-melon, and she got along just great in it. But it is what it is at the end of the day. As a parent, you are a reflection of who you and your children are. Your children are a reflection of you. So if your kids out here saying crazy stuff and disrespectful, they get it from home. And I make sure, I just took my son, and for the first time I seen his coach, and he came up to me, he was like, man, I appreciate the fact that your son is humble. He does the discus or whatever that thing is. And, he helps me as a coach, help me keep the kids in line. And I thank you because it's a reflection of who you are. So I respect that. I put him somewhere where he can be respected, where he can respect others. You know what I'm saying? So that's how my kid is. And that's what I'm saying. So, we got about 24 minutes. Anthony Lewis, you got to comment on what's been going on the line so we can hurry up and start shutting it down. AL, because we haven't heard
Yeah,
from
I've
you
been
yet.
listening. I've been listening. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
I can
yeah.
hear
No,
you.
I've been listening. Yeah, no, you guys touch on so many good. And that's the beautiful thing about this line, man. Everybody, you get a different perspective, which we know they're all, opinions and experiences, and you get it from all different walks, and that's a beautiful thing, and you get to see it. Um, from a different point of view at times. We got Chris, we got two coaches and two sports guys on here. We got parents, and so it's definitely a good way to look at it. But coming from my walk, I was raised in the north side of Stockton. Um,
Hold on, I got to add him back.
Northern California, even though it was already, in full force in the LA area, but it made its way down here to the valley, and we were right there in the thick of it when it hit. I lost a lot of good friends, young. They would have been my age right now, over a bunch of color, and then it got
Right.
to a point to where I never really got into that because I was
So it
more of the
wasn't
lucky.
racist, it was a color. It was blue or red.
Exactly. But I'm going somewhere with this. And then I was more into the money part of it. I was like, that's where I'm from. I lived there. So it was a respect thing. They knew I wasn't with, I was no Crip, but all my friends and the people I went to school with as young kids, they was all Crips, and I grew up out there. Um and we never had to fight the white folks. And this is where I'm going with this. I think it stands out more when it's white against black versus black against black. And I think we need to make a stance amongst each other, because you know how the Bible speaks where when a house is divided,
Right.
and in black community, that house is divided because everybody thinks they know everything. So, and I told you guys a while ago where I'm speaking to every black person I see at least once, and you can imagine, man, you can't even imagine the looks I get, like, I don't know you, or, but it's the community, it's our community, like we were telling Junior the other day, Shaq, on the line about, hey, don't blame the guy, don't blame the girl, don't blame your daughter's boyfriend, blame her for the choices. Same thing with the black community. Let's how the Bible says, sweep around your own front door.
Yes.
We have to sweep around our own front door. Period. People aren't going to agree with that. People aren't gonna, oh, you're right. No, but the truth of the matter is, I was in the thick of it, and it was black on black crime. The Crips didn't go out shooting the white boys because the white boys wasn't
Right.
coming shooting them. They went to go shoot their own somebody who looked just like them. And being that Stockton is so small, they was shooting at people who kids, uncles and aunties and grandfathers and family and cousins went to school with their families back in the day.
Right.
So, you know, I'm telling you, and the same thing going on in Oakland right now. It's like it's right in front of us, but nobody's paying attention as far as let's start sweeping around our own front doors. Because if they have racism and they have this that started in their home against black folks, where did is it only because of the color? Let's think about that. Is it only because of the color? Or are there other areas that they like have this stereotype about black folks? Because I was in LA County for a year and some change, and the Mexicans in LA County remind you of the white people down south. They hate blacks. It's on site with blacks, with Mexicans. The Southern Mexicans don't get along with blacks in the prison system or in the jail, but the Northern Mexicans do. And it's weird, but it's crazy. But blacks get it from all different sides. You know, Asians want to be white. They don't like blacks. You know, and then you have the Arabs here that will try to be, and they don't like blacks. You know, every culture has something against black folks. But I did hear a true gangster Chinese leader. He asked a brother, he said, you guys, he meant black folks. He said, you guys start so many trends. Everybody wants to be like you guys, wants to dress like you, want to talk like you, want to sing like you, want to dance like you, and everything about you guys. You guys start trends. You guys, it starts from you guys. Hip hop started from you guys. But why can't you guys get along? Why can't you guys be together? Have communities? Why can't you guys grow a community together? But mind you, back in the day, there were black communities, you know, they got burnt down.
Yeah.
They got burnt down. But
They
you
really
can't,
lynched us. They
we
really
can't
lynched
keep,
us.
what's that?
They really
Yeah, but
lynched
you
us.
can't, we can't keep, yeah, and then they try to bury the stories, you know, they try to bury them.
Yeah.
It's not in the history book about the Black Wall Street getting burned down. It's not in the history books. When I grew up, I didn't know anything about it until I got an adult. So
Right.
we have to know that, like the Bible tells us, we're royalty.
Right.
And black folks don't know that. Man, you're royalty. You're royalty. You're kings and queens. You know, stop acting like peasants. Stop leaving the house with house shoes on and pajama pants and bonnets on and going to the store and pick up your kids from school. You know, stop doing that. How many white women, Asian women, Arab women, Chinese women, whatever other nationality woman are saying, oh, I'm a strong, independent Chinese lady.
Right.
Black women that say that. You're not independent. You're independent out of choice because you have an issue about being submissive. But you could submit your body on that bed, but not submit your heart and your mind to your man at home, whether he's your husband, whether he's your fiance, whether you guys are planning on getting married, or whether he's your husband. They have an issue of submitting their mind and heart, but they'll submit their vagina before they submit that. It's twisted. It's backwards. It starts sweeping around our own front door, whether we say it, like it or not. Let the white folks do what they gonna do. Who care? Let's take care of our community.
Right.
That happened. You grew up in Oakland. You see the heart of it, the Black Panther. You've seen the beautiful thing it can do. You've seen it. Meal programs, house programs, people all just loving one another, seeing, hey brother, what's up, blood? It was blood was a more or less, that's my people. Blood was a word of
Right.
of adoration. What's up, blood? You know, now it's like it's a gang word all of a sudden. And it's like, man, it's sad, man, because I look at it and I look at some of the old flicks and some of the black flicks and just, man, just I love it. I love to see the brotherhood that was going on, the sisterhood that was going on. But and then you got them other black movies that came out a long time ago that showed you when prostitution started to be a big business for the black pimps, and then they pimps started. Now they started selling their own people, you know, and this and this and this. Another form of slavery. We haven't skipped
Right.
around our own front doors, brothers. I'm telling you. I ain't see no white pimps out there pimping no black girls. I see the black men pimping them. You see? Sweeping around your own front door. Sweep around your own front door. It's just black men selling their own nieces and daughters and stuff like that. Getting money. You know, it's black men and women that are pimps too. You know, so we got to sweep around our own front door, man. Black folks, you know, you see these videos on the thing with these YNs holding their big old machine guns. Them machine guns is killing somebody. You want to kill somebody who look like you, who's going
Right.
through the same struggle as you, but you're trying to kill them. So I'm just saying, man, it's not white folks are gonna be racist because that's sometimes not like somebody said earlier. You are what's in your home. If you hear it in your home, you're gonna adopt it. You don't even know why you're racist, but well, it's because of your daddy and your uncles and stuff. Your aunties was always associating, you know, hate with blacks.
Right. Right.
How do we hate them? I don't even know them. You know, how does baby Alex hate a white little girl or boy when she don't see color?
Right.
You know, so it's we gotta sweep around our own front door, man. That's my take on it. Until we do that, stop pointing fingers.
I 100% agree with you. And again, that's us making sure we respect ourselves, love ourselves, and then we help the next generation. Chris, he'll come back on. Yeah, and then we can help the next generation. So until we can help ourselves and get ourselves right, and then don't worry about what other people think and worrying about what other people tripping off. We just got to get ourselves right, and then we help the next generation get themselves right. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, and even as we get ready to close, I didn't hear from Glenn today. I don't know what Glenn had today. I didn't hear from him. But Chris, you want to give your final thoughts before we get ready to close out? Chris, you there? Hold on. I got to put Chris back. I can hear you now, and I got to put Anthony back on. Okay, go ahead. Your final thoughts, bro.
Man, I don't know, man. Our conversations get better and better each week, and it feels like we actually talking about, well, we always are, but we're talking about some things that have substance, you know, and it's good to hear everybody's perspective. And to Mr. Anthony as well, as somebody that I admire, you know, his you as well, P. Shack. I respect y'all as men and as fathers and what you do for your children. These are the conversations that I love to have every week, you know, and me just reflecting while Mr. Anthony was speaking and earlier, it's like Aunt Junior being in this conversation would be, you know, like these are those conversations that he's spending a large amount of time just speaking and telling what's going on. And like, these are the reasons why I come onto this call every Thursday. You know, it's just like, to even know that I can hear his voice inside of my head giving his own perspective just goes to is for me to tell Mr. Anthony like that he's done a great job, and his perspective matters, you know, his outlook matters. And every single time that we haven't had a father and a son on here, you know what I mean? So it's like when I'm able to hear his perspective, I was able to hear his son's perspective. It just lets me know that like there is good fathering out here.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not one myself yet, and I didn't grow up with one, you know, but to know that I have the essence of fatherhood around me lets me know that I'm protected. You know, because I have these wonderful fathers that are on the line that I can be able to go to and have conversation with, to ask them their opinions, to ask them what would they do, you know, versus just feeling like I got to freestyle everything. So y'all are making a difference
You know, y'all are making a difference in each other's lives, and y'all making a difference in my life. And I share this, man. I share these things with my brothers. I share it with my kid, the kids that I train, any child that comes into my life, you know, or anybody that comes into my life that I can inspire. It comes from some of these conversations. You know, this is how you sharpen up your perspective. This is how you sharpen up your soul as well. You know, feeling good about yourself and knowing that, man, I'm not the only person that's going through this. I don't have to just keep this in to myself, and I have an outlet to be able to go and talk about not only how I feel, but what I feel about what I'm seeing in the world as well. So,
Hey, hey man, I respect that. And the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron. So you're definitely on point. Yeah, I can every time I come on, man, I can hear Lil Anthony Jr. and Jr. I can just hear his voice. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? So I appreciate him and his dad for being a part of. As long as Big Ant here, Lil Ant is with us. So I praise God for that union.
Yep. He's still here on this call.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
it's you know, when the news hit, it hit me. It hit differently because I could actually feel him, hear his voice in my head from
Right.
weeks previous of him just giving advice, him talking about his own situations, him actually being excited to be a father. You know what I mean? It's like all of those things, like I can hear his voice, I can feel his spirit, and that's when somebody has come into your life and made a difference. And it's like, dang, I hadn't even met him, but I know that he has had that much of an impact on my life. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Just by having these conversations. Same way that Alex did for me. You know, I hear Alex's voice in my head all of the time. So it's like these things, this is what we need as men, man. It's like true proper conversation and communication. So I thank y'all, man. I really do.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, bro. And I thank each one of y'all for coming on today. And man, we had a good time today. And I don't have a complaint in the world because life is great. I'm always excited to get on the call with some mighty men. I'm always excited to, you know, make sure life is great because at the end of the day, life is great, bro. So I'm excited how we do what we do best and how we make an impact on society when we do these. Um, So thank y'all for coming on, and y'all have a great day. I'm gonna have a great day, and we're gonna make it work, bro. So, bro, we love y'all big. I was trying to find this boy's song because I wanted to close out, even though Amar didn't come on today. I wanted to close out with this song he had, and this is gonna be it. Hold on a second. Angel, nah, I'm far from that. Feels like I'm into the stars and back. Got burnt by a few, but my new man grew where those bruises and scars were at. Hard head describe me well. They say it's hope I die in hell. I'm a miracle, yes again, cause I can be dead to sin, but alive and well. So send a stage on the sanctuary. My works in faith to Mary from the outset. No matter what the outlet, we depend on grace to carry. My choice too late to bury. Watch my hands always true. Don't stop my dance. The origin is more than sin. The course has been the war within. It's yours to win. You're born again. I knew that you were the one. The way you love ain't really catching my heart. Now that I have you, I'm never gonna let you go. Cause it's your love that keeps me wanting more and more. I'm gonna praise your name all night long. I'm gonna praise you. I'm gonna praise you. Blessed be the day. Ooh, like that break the song. Break the song. Really do the Lord, Lord, really do Lord, is this a dream or
is this reality? I can't believe your love would save someone like me. So let's get down and do what we came to do. Put up the floor, it's all about praising you. I'm gonna praise your name all night long. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's today. Song. And you know, before we dancing, born again, born again. Feels like I'm born again, dancing. Ooh, born so fly, I save myself, but I shine, but it's not my work. I'm just trying with the cards I was dealt. Cause I bring some morning style. I'm the offspring of the golden child. I move off across the equator and two-step and never scuff the gator. When I feel that freedom, I strike more roses in the sun.
That's Emo out of the vocals.
Not the rap, just the singing.
The singing part of it.
Yeah.
It sounds just like Raphael, man.
Like so.
One.
Wow.
Completes me. And it's your love that feeds me. And Lord, through your love and grace, I'm born again. I never knew I could feel this way no more. Everything I said feels like I'm born again. I'm born again. You know I'm born again.
Shut down that praise.
You know I love you. You know I love you. I love you. You know I love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't you know I'm born again? I love you. Oh Lord, I love you.
All right, Chris, have a good one, bro.
Have a good one.
All right.